welcome to the Body Shop. I'm Jason.
And I'm Geoffrey.
And we're here to bring you the glorious start to our second season. Welcome.
Yes, welcome, and most glorious it is. How are you doing, Jason?
Geoffrey, the smile on my face should speak enough words without me having to say anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, it's been a long time since we've done the show, and you've had a good year at school.
I have had a good year at school.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this is my last quarter of school up here at Western. I'll have my master's degree in history, and then I'll be officially unemployed for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's okay because you're good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do extremely well at having no money.
Yeah, you are very efficient. That is true.
So today's show, we're going to have this show match the fact that this is the beginning of our second season. And today's show is going to be a series of exercises designed to help you tone your legs up, get them a little bit more shapely or a little bit stronger.
Firm them up.
Exactly. Yep.
We'll be working the quadriceps, the hamstrings, and the calves. Now these exercises...
And the glutes as well.
And the glutes too. These exercises today are geared more towards women, but they are applicable towards men too.
Yep.
So, gentlemen out there, if you're listening, you can glean some exercises from this, and they will work for you just as well, just fine.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, you'll have to start shaving your legs.
Right. Ooh. Jason already tried that once.
Yep.
So today, those will be our exercises that we're going to do. Thank you. Water. Where's the water boy? So anyway, so with that in mind, please join us, and we look forward to having you this year.
Yeah. All right, Jeff and I are over here at the first machine we're going to be using, which is a Nautilus leg extension machine.
I wasn't ready.
He's just all giggles today. You don't need to be ready. I'm talking.
Okay.
Just zip the lip.
I was out of it. All right, continue.
The nice thing about Nautilus is that they have written instructions here for how to most beneficially use the machine. So just keep that in mind if you use any Nautilus equipment. Now, what I wanted to say is that we didn't mention this at the very start, but it's very important if you're going to be doing any kind of working out, any kind of exercise, that you adequately stretch out and warm up. So we're looking at at least 5 minutes of walking or jogging or using a Nordic track, anything like that to get your heart rate up and get the blood flowing. Then before or after or both, you need to stretch out. And in particular, make sure that you stretch out the muscles that you're going to be working on most that day. You're going to prevent injury and you're going to have a much better workout as a result. So please keep that in mind and do not neglect to do that. It's very important.
Very, very important. Very important.
And then before we actually start this exercise, I wanted to just reiterate something, which was that today's program is hopefully designed for those of you who are not really into the full swing of working out, but are maybe interested in it and want to get a good start. So these are some toning exercises that can help you to get into shape and feel comfortable about coming into the gym. And Geoffrey's going to have a lot of comments to make about appropriate numbers of repetitions and sets and things of that nature and how much weight you should use. So try to keep your mind focused on that if you can.
And if you can't do that, well,
we have a special handbook we're selling for $50, and you can order that right after the show.
Right.
Okay,
first, the first exercise that you should perform here is a leg extension, okay? Pretty self-explanatory, okay? But there's some key points that you need to remember. When you first sit down in the exercise here, you want to make sure that the bench is contoured for your own body. All right, you want to make sure that the pad is sitting right in the crutch of your foot, between your shin and the top of your foot. The back seat of the pad is up against your lower back. Okay, make sure that you're feeling comfortable with that.
Yeah, essentially what Geoffrey's saying is, just that last word. It's making sure that you're comfortable with any working out that you do. If something feels incredibly awkward, chances are that it is, and you need to kind of readjust yourself until it feels good.
Right. So adjust the machinery to your body. Okay, first off, what you're going to do is you're going to set the weight and at a very, very light, maybe 10-15 pounds, and you're going to do a warm-up set, okay? Now what that will do is that will warm up your muscle, okay? Pump a little blood into it and get it prepared for a little bit heavier weight, all right? So when you get your 10 pounds on there, you're going to perform probably around 20 repetitions, okay? Not too fast, not too slow, but a comfortable rhythm to where it feels good for you.
And if I can interject something, the machine that we're using here operates on a stack system so that there's a pin that fits into the weights. And on any time that you're using a stack system of weights, to get the most out of the workout, don't quite let the weights that are moving touch the ones that are still. That way your muscles will always be contracted as you're lifting, and it's very important.
Yes, good idea. Thank you very much. Okay, now that you've done your warm-up set, you're ready to hit your main exercise, okay? You want to choose a weight so that you can perform 12 to 15 repetitions comfortably, okay? If you choose a weight where you can do 20, 25 reps, the weight is too light, all right? So increase the weight to where you can just do 12 to 15 reps. All right, so now you choose your weight, you're ready to go. You're going to perform the weight very slowly and under control. You're going to do a nice slow positive contraction and a nice slow negative, negative what? What do you call that? Repetition. Right on. Thank you very much. So go ahead and...
With the Nautilus equipment, there are handle grips on the side. What the machine recommends, and it does work well, is that as you're pushing the weight up, you hold on to the handle grips lightly. When you're at full extension, release your hands from the handlebars and hold it for 1 full second. And that displaces all of the weight of the press onto your quadriceps. Then as you're going through the negative rep, go ahead and hold it again and let it down slowly. And then remember not to touch those two stacks of weight together. And then repeat the
Good point.
motion.
What you want here at the positive contraction is a nice strong contraction for about 1 second. Hold it nice and tight, okay? And then release it nice and slow all the way down, all right? And go ahead and perform a few so they can see. You've done that? You did that.
I've done that.
Okay. So you should do 2 sets, okay, of this exercise. 12 to 15 repetitions, all right?
You should be taking off about 1 to 2 minutes in between each of the sets.
Okay, actually we're going to cut that down a little bit to about maybe 30 seconds, okay? The point here is you want to get in and out as quick as possible, all right? So you want to start your workout immediately after you've done your stretching. You want to get in here and you want to crank it out, okay? So 30 seconds rest in between your sets. You do your first set, 30 seconds, maybe do a little stretching out, which is called...
a good idea is to get up and shake your legs out, stretch them a little bit, walk around.
And we call that active rest, okay? So in between your sets, you're going to be stretching your quadriceps.
Actually, Geoffrey calls that active rest. I don't call it anything.
He doesn't know what to call it. So 30 seconds is up, bang, you go ahead. No, hang on, we don't pay him to do that. And then you go ahead and hit your second set, all right? Perform it, and then you go directly to your next exercise, which is going to be lunges.
Yep, so we'll take you to lunges right now.
Right.
Okay.
Perform your leg extensions, and you just finished those. You're going to want to wait about 30 seconds, and then come over and you're going to do your lunges. Shaping exercises that you can do for your quadriceps and for your glutes, all right? In other words, derriere, right?
Absolutely, Geoffrey.
Okay, I'm on a roll here. So, this is how they should look when you perform them. There's 2 ways you can do them. First one is a single leg lunge, which is like so. Or you can do an alternate lunge, which is... Are you getting motion sickness?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, now if you'll notice, Jeff's going to go ahead and just do a few of these for you.
Okay.
And I'm going to make a few explanatory remarks. If you'll notice, what's happening is that Geoffrey's knee, the back knee, is not quite touching the ground. And it's actually all right if you do, but you don't want to let it rest there. So actually letting it touch the ground isn't a bad idea, because then you can gauge how far down you've gone. And essentially what you want to make sure is that most of your weight is distributed to the front here, but just enough so that you can keep your balance, so a little bit's on the back. You should be using the ball of your foot here on the rear foot, and otherwise this foot is flat. And if you notice, Geoffrey's motion is very controlled, so he's both going down and coming up at about the same speed, and it helps to really distribute the weight of your body throughout the exercise. Right. Now what you can do also is, this weight can be, or this exercise can be a little bit awkward for those who haven't tried it before. But actually you will of course get a much better workout if you use some hand weights while you're doing this. So Jeff's just got a really light weight here, 5 pounds in each hand. And actually it's kind of nice because I know a lot of people have 5-pound weights at home just lying around the house. So if you want to pick them up, the nice thing is that as you start to get stronger, you know, especially if you have a gym at your disposal, you can use 50-pound weights or 60-pound weights depending on how strong you are. So this exercise
that's a lot of weight.
But this exercise itself is not designed only for beginners, except it's nice, it's versatile, it can be used for beginners or, you know, people who are a little bit more advanced.
Right.
So now this is one kind, and now Jeff, you want to show them the alternating?
Right. Okay.
Now the first one that he just performed, we're suggesting for people who probably haven't tried it before. This here is a little bit harder to work out. It'll get your heart rate going a little bit more. So you need to keep yourself attuned to your breathing patterns. You want to make sure you breathe at a very even pace while you're doing this. But it's a little bit better workout, so you might want to consider this as well. Yeah.
Now, some key points that you need to remember when you're doing this exercise is that when you perform these, when you're down in this position, you want to make sure that your knee does not go past your toes, all right? If you're doing this, okay, you're going to put too much stress on your knee, and that's not good. So you want to make sure that your knee never goes past your toes.
And a good way to help ensure that is to take a very generous step forward.
Right, but not too much. And also, you want to make sure that you get a good stretch in your back leg when you come down, okay? So when you come down, you should feel a nice stretch right in here, all right? You come back up, nice, whoop, nice stretch right down there. So my legs are getting a little fatigued. So, and like Jason said, you can get your heart rate up pretty good.
This is an excellent exercise. So, okay.
Right. Again, I'll say you should do about 12 to 15 repetitions, all right? So 12 to 15 here, and 12 to 15 here.
To make a comment about the 12 to 15 repetition thing, you can, of course, do a lot more repetitions. For instance, a woman who we will hopefully have on the show again, but who at least had on the show in the past, Yolanda Hughes, remarked to Geoffrey one time that she oftentimes does as many as 40 repetitions in each set when she's doing a workout, and she's a professional bodybuilder. So all that we're suggesting by this is that there's no real limit to the number of repetitions that you do. It's just that the more weight that you use on a given lift and the fewer repetitions you do, the more likelihood that you'll be sort of increasing muscle mass as time goes by.
Right.
And so 12 to 15 is sort of just a moderate number of repetitions. And it should help you to improve your endurance, but it can also help to start shaping the muscle and getting it a little bit more lean and yet building at the same time. So, yeah. So it's kind of a safe number to start with. And if anything, if you're not sure about the weight, make it so that it's a little bit easier and you can go a little beyond 15 rather than only being able to do 8.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
You agree
now,
with that?
Yeah. If you're a beginner now, we recommend that you don't use any weight at all. All right. So you're going to take these 5-pounders and throw them to the side, and you're not going to use any weight at all.
Yeah.
All right.
And in that case, you may definitely be doing more than 12 to 15 repetitions.
Right.
I mean, a good way to do it is if you feel it burning a little bit, keep going. But don't take it to such extremes that you hurt yourself. But especially a lift like this where you're just using your own body's weight, you may be you'll be able to tell what's comfortable and what's not. Yeah.
Okay.
So all right, and next we're going to be doing.
Next we're going to be doing leg kickbacks, okay, which is on a machine, and this is probably one of the best exercises that you can really do to isolate your glutes, and we'll show you that next.
Yep.
Okay, once you perform 2 sets of your lunges, okay, you should come over here, take about a minute rest, and then perform your rotary hip extension. Now this is a good exercise for your glutes almost exclusively, okay? This is a good shaping exercise for that area. Now there's a specific way that you should perform this. Now when you get on the machine, you want to make sure that your leg is up at 90 degrees, okay? You want to, see how Jason's knee here, leg is at 90 degrees? That's where you want to start it. You get a good grip on the bar, and once you perform that, your back is nice and straight, okay? And your back leg here is bent just a little bit, all right? So once you have all that set, you want to kick your leg back behind you to about 4 inches behind your standing leg, all right? You don't want to swing your body at all, but you want to just really concentrate on getting a nice strong contraction with your glutes, all right? There you go. Now, if you're lucky, you'll be able to feel a pump here. Jason says that every time he rides his bicycle, he gets a pump from riding that, right?
Absolutely, I do.
So he sits in front of the TV at home on his bicycle and just rides it and gets a pump there all the time, right? So once you perform 12 to 15 repetitions with this leg, you're going to turn around and adjust the machine for your other leg.
Yep. What you want to do is, this machine operates on a swivel system, and you want to start with the arm that's attached to the pad such an angle that you actually have to,
Sorry.
that you actually have to pull your microphone out. You want to start at such an angle that you actually have to pull it down a little bit and step into it. And by doing so, you've already engaged the weights, and it means that your workout will start the instant that you lift your leg up.
Did I do that?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is what it looks like from behind. And a nice key here is to take your toe and kind of curl your toe up towards your shin, all right? This helps to give your leg a little bit more support. There you go. You should do 2 sets of these, 12 to 15 repetitions, okay? And once you perform that, we're going to go on to the hyperextension machine, which is also a really good exercise for your glutes.
Well, with the modern preoccupation with the rear end, we're here to give you another helpful exercise.
Very well said.
To make you more appealing, say when you're standing in line at the bank or waiting to buy your groceries at the grocery store. You don't need to be so self-conscious. Instead, you can say, I look good because
I do.
What do we do? What do we call these?
We call it, my mind is drawn a blank. Hip, no, not the hip.
Super butt exercise.
No.
So, okay.
We call these the hyperextensions. The hyperextension machine. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to adjust the pad in the back so it's parallel with the pad in the front, all right? You want to adjust yourself on this machine so you have free movement from your hip, all right? You don't want to be too far back to where it constricts any part of your hip joint. So, how you perform this, and the best way to perform it, to isolate your glutes, is, okay, go all the way down. You want to get a 90-degree angle here, okay? Come all the way down, relax, okay, and bring your back up, parallel to the floor. When you get to this point, you want to give your glutes a nice, strong contraction, okay? Imagine there's a $500 bill in there, and you don't want anybody to take it, all right?
Imagine that the family nutcracker doesn't work. If you have one of these puppies around, you're all set.
Yeah. Jason performs that technique at home, but don't try that at home for you kids. So, nice strong contraction. Hold it for a second. Lower yourself back down. 90 degrees. Come back up. Nice strong contraction parallel to the floor. Now, the reason why you're doing it this way is so you take the motion, or not the motion, but you're taking the back out of the exercise, all right? And you're also taking the hamstrings out of the exercise, all right? You can include those two in there by doing it another way, but the reason why I explained it the way I did is to isolate the glutes, all right? How do you feel? A little lightheaded, a little dizzy?
I feel just fine, Mom.
I have a feeling there's a lame joke coming on.
No.
Oh, darn. So, after you perform your rotary hip extension, you come over here immediately and you do this, okay? You do the hyperextension. Once you've done this, okay, you work your quadriceps and you work your glutes. The next exercises we're going to do are for your hamstrings, all right?
And some of these exercises, like this one, for instance, will actually work your hamstrings a little bit too.
A little bit, but we're trying to isolate your glutes, right? So you do 2 sets here, 12 to 15 repetitions, all right? Nice and slow and under control, full range of motion. Once you've done your second set, we're going to go over and we're going to do a leg curl, which you're going to work your hamstrings, which are in the back of your leg. And Jason's going to perform those while I explain those expertisely. Right? So once you finish with the hyperextension, you're going to come over to the lying leg curl machine, and you're going to perform this 2 sets, 12 to 15 repetitions, 30 seconds rest in between each set. Now, once you've lied down, is it lie or lay?
A person lies down, but you can lay down your notebook.
Okay, thank you. Jason, that's why Jason's in school. You're going to choose a way to where you can do 12 to 15 repetitions, all right? When you curl your leg up, you're going to come as far as you can and try to touch the pad to your glutes, okay? And you're going to be working this part of your muscle right here. Now, it's be a nice, slow, and controlled motion, full range of motion. When you bring the weight down, you're not going to let the weights touch. all right? You're going to stop right before the weights come together.
A good way to make sure that you don't is to actually stick your tongue in between them, and then it will kind of prevent you from setting it down.
Jason's tongue is that long.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger mentions that in his latest book.
You know, being down this low, Jason, I'm having a hard time breathing, so maybe we should. So, this exercise is pretty self-explanatory. 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 sets, 30 seconds rest in between each set. Once you get done with this, you go ahead and you jump over to the leg curl machine, which we'll do next. All right. Healthy eating habits here on the Body Shop. With Jason the Banana Man. So, once you perform your lying leg curl, you're gonna come over. Thank you very much. You're gonna come over and you're going to do your seated leg curl. The banana threw me off balance there. So, you're going to, this machine is going to take a few adjustments.
Yeah, there are a number of adjustments you need to make here. I think the most important one is you want to make sure that the upper pad here is right below the knee joint. You don't want it to be on the knee joint, because in that case,
you want to make sure it's right here.
And you'll definitely hurt yourself. So pay careful attention to that.
You got stuff all over me.
Shut up.
So, and you can adjust that by adjusting this bottom pad down here. So, and you can also adjust the back pad with another lever as well.
Yeah.
So once you get everything situated, you're going to want to take your toes, before you perform, and curl your toes towards you, all right? What this will do is help engage your, your hamstrings maximally. Look that up in your dictionary. So, once you've done that, you're going to take your legs and you're going to curl them under you all the way as far as it will go. So, go ahead and perform, please.
Righto.
Be nice and slow and under control. Curl your legs all the way under you. Bring your legs back out, full extension, but don't let the weights touch. You have handles here to hold yourself down.
And now the good thing about this exercise is I can tell you this. I know I've mentioned it on previous shows, but it's important to keep in mind. I have knee problems, and actually, I'm performing this exercise and I shouldn't be, and it's alright just for the sake of show and tell.
But Jason does what I say.
This exercise actually hurts my knees, and I don't regularly do it, so there are other alternatives.
Right. There are, but those are down the road a ways.
Yep.
So, 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 sets, 30 seconds rest in between.
Make sure that you have the machine adjusted properly.
Right. Let's see, anything else we need to go over on this one?
Nothing else that we need to go over.
Okay.
We can't tell any more of our secrets.
Right. Those are in our upcoming book. At the end of the show, we'll tell you how to get that.
Our second book.
Right. So, after you perform this exercise, you're done with your quadriceps. And then we're going to go on to your seated calf press and perform those, and that will be the last exercise for this total leg workout.
We suggest singing the national anthem in between this and your final exercise, right?
Right, to help get your lungs prepared for this next exercise.
It's very inspirational.
Right, right. It's very patriotic. Thank you very much.
It's the patriotic leg workout.
It's right. Very good. Very well said. All right, yeah. Once you perform that last hamstring exercise, all right, you're going to come over here to the seated leg press, or seated calf press, excuse me. Now this exercise is different from the others to where you're going to perform 20 to 25 repetitions, all right? The reason for that is your calf is a very dense muscle and you need to work the fibers all the way deep into it. So you're going to do 20 to 25 reps, and you're going to feel some serious burn to your calves, and that's normal and okay. What you're going to do, once you sit down, you're going to extend your legs out, all right? Extend those legs out, and put your balls of your feet on the pad.
You want the bottom of your feet, you want the ball of your foot to be touching the bottom edge of the pad, actually.
Right, right. Make sure that the pad doesn't slip off and get your shins, because that can be very painful. So, when you start out, you want to get a good stretch to your calf by letting the weight pull your toes back as far as you can go. Get a good stretch down here, and then you're going to extend your toes forward as far as you can go, and then bring the weight back. Nice and slow when you're under control. Fairly simple. Once you perform 20 to 25 repetitions, take a 30-second rest, stretch your calves out, and then do your second set, all right? Once you get done with this exercise, you've completed all the exercises that you should do for a total leg workout. Do the exact order that we showed you, and you should be ready to go by summer, hopefully. Cooling down and stretching out at the end of your workout.
Yeah, we want to make sure that when you're done, that you have a nice cool down. You're probably looking at anything from about 5 to 10 minutes, and it's a good idea to shake your legs out or shake your arms out, whatever you've been working on, and start to slowly stretch them out using some maybe rotational stretching exercises. Then get on a walking machine or just go out for a walk and spend about 5 minutes letting your body cool down. Stretch out a little bit again, shake it all off, and you're done.
And you're done, ready to go.
And it's a good way to help with recovery, and it's a good way, once again, also to prevent cramping up later in the evening.
Right.
And, yeah, wanted to thank you for being here on the show today. And we had a couple of closing remarks that we wanted to make. So I'll make the first couple, and then I'll let Geoffrey take over and say goodbye. Wanted to say, if you have any overriding health concerns, if you have any lower back pains or knee troubles or any other joint pains, please consult an acknowledged professional, somebody whose opinion you trust, somebody who can dispense some good advice to you before you set up any kind of a program for yourself. Because what we're interested in promoting most of all is good health.
Exactly,
So
right.
we'd like you all to be healthy. And if you think that you can incorporate some kind of working outs with weights, some kind of weightlifting into your own personal health, then we encourage that. I've been doing it for a few years. I'm not quite as serious about it as Geoffrey here, but definitely helps me feel a little bit more alert, a little bit more confident, you know, all the kind of corny things that you usually hear, but it is true. So please keep that in mind, and that's pretty much most of what we're here to offer you and to ask you to do for yourselves.
Exactly. Very well said. Yeah. So again, thank you for joining us today. Our next show will be in about 3 weeks, and we'll have something new for you.
Yep. And we are accepting donations, but nothing under $1,000, right?
Ooh, I don't know about that. But if you want to be on the show, you can write at
contact TCI.
And the address and phone number will be coming up in the credits. Contact them or if you have any comments that you'd like to make, whether positive or negative or constructive, you can write those in or call those into TCI. Right. And we appreciate all the support that you've given us.
Absolutely.
It's very inspirational, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, and I hope that you all have a good start to your spring.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Aside from too much rain. Yeah.
Right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hello, we're out here at General Nutrition Center today, and we're here with Lene. She's going to be talking with us in particular about protein supplements today. And so we're hoping that you'd be willing to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I've been using supplements and products like that for about 15 years. Currently I'm working at General Nutrition Center and am working on my Bachelor's in Science degree in Holistic Health Nutrition.
Good. And actually, in talking with Lene a little bit this morning, it's quite evident that she really does know a lot about what she's talking about. And so now we get to grill her with some questions.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's lay it on her.
So you mentioned that this morning before coming into work that you had taken some protein supplements. I was wondering if you could just talk to people about why you would have done that.
Number one, because I don't get enough protein in my diet. I'm very busy. So it's hard for me to cook correctly, eat correctly, and proportion my diet the way that I should. So I use a liquid protein supplement in the morning and usually for lunch if I don't eat.
Yeah, and now I think that what you were just describing about yourself probably holds true for lots of people.
Yes.
Everybody's consumed with getting to work and getting to the gym and picking up their kids and going to the grocery store, and it's hard to keep track of what you're eating and what you're not eating.
Right.
So,
as well as people are trying to get away from high quality proteins like lean red meat, beef, chicken, even some fish.
right, exactly.
Now, somebody who's taking a supplement shouldn't rely on it as their main basis for protein.
No. No, it's in addition to what your diet is. And you should also be very aware of how much protein you're consuming in your diet before you add a protein supplement in.
Right.
Yeah,
Do any of you have an idea of how much protein the average person should intake on a daily basis?
That's really hard to say. It depends on your level of activity, whether or not you're an athlete, your general overall health. So it's hard to say for any one person. That's something that you need to determine yourself.
Right. Now, from my reading and my interest in bodybuilding, for somebody who's into bodybuilding, my recommendation would be have them take at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
That's right. That's the standard.
That's the standard.
Right. Right.
So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be taking 150 grams of protein a day.
Right.
So.
Which is very, very hard to get in a diet.
Yeah, it can be. If you eat every 2.5 to 3 hours and you're eating protein with each meal, you can
Right.
do it.
And don't
But
have
if
a
you
daytime
can't
job.
do that, you know, it can be very difficult.
Right.
And you don't want to eat too much protein if you're having, you know, 3 meals a day.
Right, that's right. Number one, using a protein supplement, most of these are what they call pre-digested. So it's very easy for your body to digest these and utilize them correctly. When you're eating a steak or something like that, it's hard for your body to break it down. It's work. It causes your body to have to use energy in order to digest these products. So you wouldn't want to eat a steak and say, go work out an hour later.
Right.
You know, but you could use a supplement and go work out an hour later.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Also, you want to use a supplement after you work out to help your body hang on to protein.
Right.
So
replenish what is lost.
Yeah, been used.
They could have probably picked a more appealing name than pre-digested, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
it does sound like.
but actually, do you know why the term pre-digested? Does it have to do something with the process?
Yes.
Yeah.
It basically means more broken down, so that your body doesn't have to work really
Easier
hard.
to assimilate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now, is there different, excuse me, is there different, what am I trying to say? Protein, like whey protein, and there's other different types of.
Sure, there are sources: egg protein, soy protein, whey protein.
Right.
Yeah. Could you talk about, like for instance, if you're looking
What's
at
the
your
best source of protein to get in a supplement? That you should
Probably
look for?
whey protein, which is a byproduct of cheese.
Okay.
Without the milk.
The lactose.
Yeah, the lactose intolerance. If you have a problem with milk, it does not have that. It's very easy to assimilate. Your body utilizes a lot of it. Some types of protein your body doesn't use a lot of it, and it's not expensive. So.
Now, how about for people who are vegetarian, who first of all are have completely cut meat products out of their diet, and then second of all, who some people take it to the extreme that that they don't want to use anything that comes from a cheese source or a dairy source. Right. So, are there good protein supplements that these people can be using as well?
Oh, yeah. Egg whites, vegetable proteins.
Right.
Incomplete proteins that they can add to their diet if their diet has grains and vegetables and things like that, so you can add an incomplete protein in there.
Yeah.
There are many ways that you can go, many ways.
Yeah, and I guess what I was actually aiming at also is, are there particular, although we can't talk about any products themselves, but are there particular products out on the market that are geared towards vegetarians, so that it's a protein supplement being sold?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There
So people can go and
out there right now,
find that for themselves.
The manufacturers are aware of that. Yeah. There are also protein powders that are in combination with carbohydrates if you're needing that. Just straight proteins. There's there's a whole gamut of ways that you can go with this.
Are there any side effects to taking a protein supplement?
Oh, certainly. Always. There can be side effects to almost everything. If you use too much protein, in excess, you don't want to take too much of anything. It depends on your level of activity, and the person themselves are the best judge of that.
Right.
If you were to use too much protein and not utilize it, not burn it off, it's stored as fat. So you want to be careful on what you're using and really know yourself.
And we'd like to suggest to all of you that while we're talking about things like protein supplements, or on other shows we might be talking about other sorts of products and supplements that you can take, we'd like to caution you to speak with a health professional if you have any concerns whatsoever.
Right.
Speak with your doctor, or try and get in touch with the company that manufactures a particular product and ask them to send you their market research on it, or not their market research, but ask them to send you their research on it, and they have to do that.
Very good, Jason.
So,
did somebody tell you to say that?
No. So, these are important things to keep in mind, especially when you're thinking about taking any kind of new product. So.
Well, and there's also a lot of information available out there just over the counter. You can come to any local health food store. We'll have some information on protein, I know. There are also a lot of books that are being published on products like this, so you can educate yourself if you need to.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's been nice talking with you today, Lynette.
Yes, thank you for coming on our show.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, we're out at General Nutrition Center with Lynette. Jason, I'm Geoffrey for the Body Shop.
Yep.
We'll go back to our program.